So good morning. Wow. Hey, it's 53 actually in here in Wisconsin. Well, let's see. Sunday for Memorial Day, so veterans, thank you for your service, number one. And know that this family will be honoring you instead of partying around like a bunch of jerks. So again, thank you for your service and God bless. So, figure one way to wake everybody up in that is just start a nice small fire in the back here today. Ooh, she's about 10 feet high, so that's okay. And a little garden hose snake just in case it gets out of control. Anyway, so this is, oh boy, I think actually episode 50 of my Infinite Wisdom series. So as soon as this fire dies down, it's probably gonna be a two-parter. So anyway, okay, hang on, I gotta kill the music here. That music, by the way, is also connected to my little MP3 player here, and run exclusively on a battery charged by solar. Right there. That right there is about 35 hours so far on one charge of just doing this, and that was using the 110 plug. So damn good bargain. So anyway, my big 50th episode. Oh wow. Well, let's see, would have been sooner, but you know, Facebook don't have a sense of humor, so you know, fuck you, Facebook. Anyway, yeah, so well, let's see. So there's a lot happened. I think the last episode or shit we showed you, there was barely anything in the garden. So, you know, to be honest, I'm pretty freaking lazy today. So maybe into a two-parter episode or another one, whatever. But in the coming things, I am going to change it up a little bit and probably do a lot more videos and shorter ones. So mostly because of the attention span of people. So anyway, what I'm going to do is basically show you today some of the new ones. I did post photos in of what we're doing, and this should be a really good thing because although it's a pain in the ass, the milkweed, it attracts pollinators and butterflies like you wouldn't believe. And if you look over here, and yeah, I know I still don't get in, but right at the foundation, this is what the milkweed popping up all over is. And this most likely, all you see here and back is probably one root system. And you got a little bit over there, it kind of looks like a dark asparagus in a way down there, if you can see it. Yeah, right here. And I dug one of these up in the garden, and what happened was it was probably about 5-6 feet. Actually, I had to actually dig underneath the fence and pull, and it actually came out of the main garden. So you know, it's not any major. If you cut it or whatever, it's not gonna kill you. It's a hell of a lot easier than weeding. So with this right here is we started our little herb area, and we got this all taken care of and built with some of the rest of the cinder blocks. So, and we put some rosemary in back there, and coming over here we had some sage and some lavender plants here, and then over here we had some oh boy, stevia, I believe, and which is about 300 times the amount of sugar. It's sweet as far as sweetness. And you can actually take about a half a leaf and really make some sweet stuff in there. Then we got some eucalyptus over there. Then moving here, this was about 2 years ago we put these chives in, and they're already blooming. And this is the same area right here. going straight across. So I'm going to belt the seeds around a little bit more, let them seed one more time. They're all going to get cut down probably the next couple of weeks in that, so they can regrow. And this puppy right here is one apple tree we're really having an issue with. I'm still gonna have to stake it up, but this seedling, these are all 3 years old right here, and this one was about the only one that didn't blossom at first, so it's a little worried on there, but all looks good. And our newest additions, going back here, we got a lot, so it's still in, yeah, this is basically still a construction zone back here. We did add a couple fig trees right there, and we got one underneath this little greenhouse here yet. And these little greenhouses, I gotta tell you, I didn't think they'd be worth a crap, but they really performed really well. Kept the stuff warm, and so forth. So we've been up to since last time for okay. What we've been up to last time in here since the last time was we basically had the majority of the garden planted right off the bat. So it still needs a little room for improvement. A lot of stuff actually came back really good. And wherever anybody's located, Wisconsin weather is really messed up. And by that I mean as far as an example, yesterday I think I snapped a picture of it and I posted it. It was 38 in the greenhouse, and we were gone till about 2:30 when we got home. 122 degrees in there. It was a beautiful day. I mean, don't get me wrong. And we had a little bit of windstorm on some other plants and that, but like the peppers down. But for the most part, it went pretty good. Everything survived. But this is still, I mean, it's like, come on, this is June, and we're really kind of fighting with the weather, kind of almost on guard duty, so to speak. So anyway, we basically got most of the garden planted for now, as far as we can go. And from where Jeannie had the pollinators last year, we put in a new bed, and where the herbs were, as I just showed you, we transferred them outside the garden for now. And one of the main reasons aside of good medicinal qualities for lavender is because it does deter a lot of pests. And we're going to probably do them over by strawberries, because our strawberries are starting to go. And I'll show you them in a minute. But yeah. And then anyway, where the herbs were, we put in another bed that's nothing but pulled bush beans and peppers. There's still a little room in, but, you know, we'll get there. It's called allergies, so take the COVID bullshit and don't even go there. That's one thing that Scamdemic taught me is I got even less use for the general public. So anyway, we're gonna start here. This right here was our raspberry bush last year. The seedling we planted there, and it's not doing a lot better than that one, but still pretty good. And this year we decided just do a small amount of cauliflower to see how it goes. And there's a reason for this on some of the cooler crops, and I'll get to that in a minute. And then because they're pretty much not so much that they grow the greatest here, but I'll tell you what, if you want to separate things, beets are awesome, because almost everything grows with beets down there. Almost everything. So they'll kind of keep the plants at bay. So over here we started the seedlings with our green peppers. Well, we got some yellow peppers started there. And then the orange peppers. And then we're going to do some sweet bananas over here. Now, these right here for the peppers too, is we did them 6 across. You're gonna find right now in the raised gardens, we're really gonna compress them, and to see how they go and see how much we can push to get it out of these beds. And we may not have as many big ones either in that, but you know, we'll find out. We had a pretty good crop last year, so. And over here, this is probably about a 6 by 8 foot area, and I'm gonna zoom in here. And we got okra seedlings. Okra is typically grown in the south around Florida and Alabama and Tennessee and that, for what I gather. Not typically a Wisconsin crowd. So it's very fussy in this climate. It takes a lot longer to start. And after that, it's pretty much okay after that. So you do get they do get 10 to 12 inches for some of the German giant okra and the red burgundy okra. Now, a lot of people say it's like it's always like, well, cut them at 3 to 5 inches or they get too woody. Okay, a lot of crap too. Those chives are probably really crappy, but I guarantee if you put them in the refrigerator for a few days, things will get better. And then you get like the okra we did last year. We did can some, but we used the majority as filler in our spaghetti and chili sauce. They've turned out fantastic. So there's roughly, as I said, right there in this little area alone, about 80 plants. And then over here on one of our arches going through over here, we have our sugar snap peas, which is another cool crop, and those only get about 40 inches going down there, and they're good, but I mean, they're peas. I mean, they're a dime a dozen for that. And you know, we got enough crap to can. Okay, we're not gonna sit there and go all day and do it. So right about there, and then I'm going back before we get to the rest of the garden. And this the pear trees that my soulmate Jeannie and I planted. Got 2 of them over there, and those are about ready to take off. They have not bloomed yet, but you know, they're still young ones too. And then over here we got some of our blueberry bushes, and again, this was babying for a year, and then there was barely anything. This thing's really starting to blow up here. Is our grapevines. When we look a little close, we got the little clusters starting on there. Yeah, let's see if we can find some. Okay. Yep, right there, and let's see, got some down there. So this is going to be really interesting on here. And over here is our main garden area. There is some mess in there in here, but we got a row here. We're trying sugar pumpkins, the white and yellow patty pan. And these were given to me as a gift for seeds from a farmer friend of mine. They're called Trombloncina or something. I'm not sure exactly how to say it, but they're supposedly like the swan gourd, or like 30 inches long and skinny. Then we're going to try on our green pumpkins, which is actually a type of squash similar to butternut, but a lot better. And these bad boys, oh boy. These were actually 3 or 4 year old seeds for some banana melons. I have no idea what they're going to do, or if they're even going to be feasible, but oh well. And then over here we're going to try doing okra in the garden this year as well. So we got 3 rows, probably about 30 feet down. And as you can see right now, they're taking very, very good, even with the crappy weather, into the soil very well. And then down here we have the small dark green summer zucchini and red Hubbard squash. These are my first plants from my first heirloom seeds. So it's really cool to see them go. And I got them off directly from a farmer himself. So, and if you've never had red Hubbard squash, they're big and they are freaking awesome. And then over here we have the round green zucchini, and these are the first ones I'm going to ever do in that, so hopefully it'll turn out. And there's our garden gnome protector. Hope you like them. Anyway, thanks, Jeannie. And over here we got some more of the grapevines coming. Not quite as pronounced as the other ones, but they're getting there. As you can see, I'm right about now. It's about 8:17 in the morning, and it's still relatively early, so we're getting over there. And but they're getting there. And right here we have our daikon radishes, and these things, because of strange weather, they're really starting to bolt a bit, so we got to baby them a little more. But as you can see, two of the different areas of the sun, even slight difference makes a difference in here. And we're moving over here. We did get some Chinese asparagus beans planted on this trellis here. This is my youngest daughter's little area here that she's doing, and between the two cherry trees we planted last year, Steven's been doing some experimenting for the first time on his tomatoes, and he planted and potted these himself, and he's doing very awesome, as you can see. And over here, I don't remember what we planted in these. I'm sure it'll come to us. But as you can see, our strawberries are taking off like you wouldn't believe right now. And believe it or not, these are right around our little prayer area here and that, and we didn't do anything to these, and these things came back like a vengeance in the raised beds. And yeah, you gotta say thank you, God, because there's no way, according to any gardener, that should happen. So, but Chippy is a little atheist idiot, so he's gonna come in here. So we're gonna put some lavender to keep the chipmunks out, because they're worse at decimating them among anything. So over here we planted a ton of tomatoes this year, and we got we're gonna be trying these pineapple tomatoes, and we got these mostly from the Amish and that, some of them in that, but these are supposed to get 7 to 9 feet, and I can tell you we have stock in a tomato cage company or something, because yeah, and we got more to go. And over here, these are pretty good. They're called Lemon Boys. They're smaller tomato, but they're all pure yellow, and they tasted excellent. They had a really nice taste to it. And we had some leftover space in there, so we threw some celebrities in that, but we'll have to see. And these are some new ones too, and wow, these are really doing very good here too. And the Mr. Stripies. They're a type of an heirloom tomato, so to speak. And these, like I said, as far as the messed up weather we've been having, this ground's doing very good. And this is very rocky soil under here too, so we really had a hard time going through. We have a visitor up there, right there in the trees and that, trying to pick some free worms. Hey, go for it, birdie. We got some of the Laromas here, and we had some extra bush beans that we planted into some pots here. Some of our rhubarb seedlings, and those little furry things sticking up and back there, those are actually asparagus, if you can kind of go. We had them, so about 2 to 3 years those should be ready. And over here we did some rows of spinach, and very tasty. The giant spinach, first time we ever did this. Seeded awesome. And back there, some of our rhubarb we started, and we're going to have a little experiment, surprise my ever-loving soulmate and wife. Jeannie pulled out a weed yesterday, and we got I think it was that a black walnut, hon? She has inherited officially from our Uncle Squirrel friend here a black walnut. She went to pull up a weed, and up came the nut with it. So it's like, yeah, let's try and see what we can do with it. So we got that little one in the house now growing and seeing what we can do. But and you know, I kind of pride myself more as a builder and that stuff. I do some of the planting, but majority of the planting and the growing and all this is 100% my wife. I mean, she is awesome at everything she touches out here. So, last year we had some of the kids and that stuff in there, and this year we decided to plant mostly dill and a few random herbs, and that red stuff there is giant mustard, and it is yummy. And again, we're seeing how the beet's doing here. Not as good as we'd like so far, but I'm impatient as hell. So, but the beets are in between each of the squares of the cinder blocks in here. And this, first of all, before we go any further, this is actually the new bed that we put together as a family. There's 5 planting areas, roughly 3 by 4, give or take a couple inches each way, and let's see, 32 cinder block areas to plant. So, in this one section we have right now, what is it, 24 cherry pepper plants. Yeah, cherry peppers, the one pickled ones that are harder than hell to find. We found them. So we bought them, 24 plants of them. And these are, well, they go by Tam or Tamed Jalapeno, Tricked You, Pepper Fool You, or Pepper Not, or whatever. They're actually jalapeno peppers with 0 heat. Because we all know we got a couple crybabies in the family who can't handle a little spice, among other things. But these are actually doing fine, and this is good and bad. I've never grown these, so I have no idea and no clue how high these are supposed to get, and the tags aren't great. As you can see, they're already starting to bud down there. And I grew chili peppers last year. I think they're called Basket of Fires. And the frickin' plant was only supposed to get about 12 inches high, and it actually ended up producing quite a bit. So, but yeah, they have all they're all acclimated to the soil well. And we did another pepper one with them. The other ones here with some of the chili peppers, serrano peppers, a couple other ones, and then in these little ones here, we have some more bush beans. And these planters in back, they have the Cushaw green striped pumpkin. It's actually a squash, but it looks kind of looks like a birdhouse gourd, only fatter and orange and green and white striped. They're right here. We did a couple of these last year, and they're freaking awesome tasting. They're black crim tomatoes, and we've already had to pick a couple buds off of them. But these should be getting about 6 to 7 feet high too. And they have a really different taste in them, but they are awesome, awesome, awesome. So going over here, you can go between the U bed and the other 6 by 20 one here. This, for the most part, is almost all Amish paste all the way down here. And this side is mortgage lifters. We're going this year for the huge and big tomatoes. See how they go. As a matter of fact, the only cherry tomatoes were the ones that Steven, my son, did in his pots. So, and then over here we have, what else do we have? We had some Brandywine tomatoes, and we got 2 varieties, some from the Amish and some from Stein's Garden and Gifts. And down here we have our broccoli and some more of the Chinese asparagus beans. And the rest over here are the kohlrabi. Now, I told you before about the winter crops, and that goes for that bed over there too. Is what our intentions are doing is as soon as these are ripped out, in is gonna go the eggplant and some purple tomatillo and some other summer crops too as well. So it's just, you know, they're too small to put in the ground right now. They're not taking up any room in the greenhouse, which is more of a storage right now. So we'll have to see what goes on. This right here, there's some stray loofahs in here too, and this is going to be a real mess, and see how long this goes on the ground all over. So we may have a thing where there's Revenge of the Plants going on here this summer. Who knows? Be kind of cool. Well, these right here, these bird's eye chilies, these are supposed to get up to 1.7 meters or about 7 feet. They say taller in the ground. I go, I will probably eat my underwear with some frickin' ketchup and mustard on, with a little hint of Himalayan sea salt. If these things get that big in a pot, 1.7 meters, I don't believe it. But stranger things have happened. And then issues with these little garden pests who don't know when to quit and go anywhere, and I don't know why. Anyway, so, and these right here are some more raspberries we planted from last year from a friend of mine at work. These two bad boys right here. When Jeannie and I first got together, we rescued two little 3-foot peach trees from Walmart in the little clearance rack that nobody wanted. Aww.
Peach tree that could.
Yeah, well, these little peach trees right now, they got their first blossoms. I don't know if I see anything on. But they're right now roughly about 8 to 9 feet above, towering above. So 3 years later, that went on good. And we did get our first blossoms. And there's nothing wrong. The only thing, I mean, there's tons of new growth on them. They do have, and I'm wondering if this is native to Wisconsin because, number one, peach trees aren't supposed to grow. But from what I'm seeing to a lot of things is how you acclimate the plants too. We did a little bit different things as far as doing stuff from seed. We got a lot more from seed last year that we actually started doing that's done fantastic. We did it a little different. We did it in a greenhouse environment, kept it open a little bit earlier, some of them, and just so it could acclimate to the type of soil and that. But the only problem I've seen with the peach trees too, in a way, is it's called this leaf curl, and it's not. I suppose it is I guess it is classified as a plant disease, but nothing deadly. There's really no cure for it, so the best thing to do is leave it go and you'll take care of it. And they do look better at the end of the year. And this is my ever-present master's Mother's Day gift last year, which is about half the size of the lilac bush. And you can see she's already got about a foot of growth on it, a lot of them. This is a really, she wanted an unusual color scheme on the leaves. So.
Yes, it was a darker purple with a white tip.
Ah. Yeah, and it looked really neat on here. So, yeah, as you can see though, there's a lot of other stuff to do yet and all that. And one thing I do want to show you guys, because I got these at Dollar Tree too. And what is freaking awesome is they're little plant clips. And they look like this. They're like 24 a buck. And to go on a stake and clip the plant on, it's like, and this is awesome because, to be honest, I am so freaking tired of pulling out cable tie after cable tie. So yeah, about $15 you can fill up a nice little shoebox like this full and, you know, take care of that. So anyway, that's our brief garden tour / construction zone. Yeah, I want to try and make these videos real. So the difference is I can show you the most beautiful areas of our yard and the rest of it looks total like utter shit. But then again, I don't have a crew of 80 morons sitting there doing my every bidding to make a fake video like a lot of the garden shows or cooking shows or, you know, survival girl shows where they have their own trailers, you know, like Alone in Alaska. Well, if they're alone in Alaska, who the hell's filling it? Same thing with Swamp People. If you ever seen Swamp People, cool show, okay? But I got a question. I want to know who the hell is playing that little one-note music tune whenever somebody shoots the gator, number one. And who's the one crazy enough to be operating the camera underwater? Just saying. So, yeah. So, anyway, what do you think? Throw another log on, or?
You can. been putzing with it.
Okay.
Trying to clean up the area.
Okay, well, yeah. Yeah, it actually looks pretty fine. So, what we're going to do is put this down here. You want to show them a nice view of anything what we're doing over here. My beautiful wife. Come on.
Stop.
No.
Just
Here it goes.
give me the camera.
So.
Okay, I'm not sure if he talked about this little area, but this was leftover herbs that we had and didn't know what to do with. So he rototilled this area not far from the fire pit. This was always just like a dumping ground for branches and stuff. Well, we have that back a little further, so it can't be seen as much. And we decided he rototilled this area up. It was pretty good soil. I'm amending it just a little bit now, but we have a bunch of herbs that our oldest daughter Kira planted for us. And I've got some extra fencing, cute little decorative fence I'm going to put around it that will probably be tripping over all the time. But it'll make it look a little bit nicer, dress it up a little bit. The perennial garden that I had been working on, the tulips that I stuck in there are done for the season. The daylilies have not yet started blooming, but we do have some wild chive going on in there yet. And next year this should be really, really awesome. I really didn't spend much time on this right now. Have a nice little fence around it. Just to keep the bunnies from eating all the goodies, that pretty stuff that's in there. And then behind that is wild area before we get to the neighbor's house. The chickens kind of graze in too. We let them out during the day. We don't let them free range, one, because I don't want the chicken poo dragged in the house constantly, and two, because we have a lot of hawks out here. So the hawks do keep watch. So when the chickens do come out, they typically go down here in this area underneath trees, and we kind of monitor them. The kids pay attention to it too. So no hawk is going to take off with one of our girls. Which, speaking of which, they're there. There's the morning flock. They're pretty happy, but of course, they're girls. They always got something to complain about. And Papa just threw some more stuff on the fire to get that going again. And I'm not sure if he showed you the other herb garden area that he actually built for us from some of those bricks that we caught quite a good sale. I think they were like 74 cents a piece.
Please note on the shelf, do not put a full pallet on my wooden trailer.
Yeah, don't put a full pallet on. 4x8 wooden trailer. Oh, it really struggled. That was a long 3-4 mile ride home. And this is
both ways.
This was a new area that we are just planted about a week or so ago. So got that going on. This is on the other side of the yard, and that's all neighbor's field that he's doing nothing with at this point in time. So
we can hope.
Yeah, neighbors. Yeah, there's one, and there's the other. Knob tried to shove his house right in between us and another. So got stuck with that. Oh well. But yeah, we're pretty decent neighbor. Leaves us alone, we leave him alone. Say hi. That's about it. Okay, I'm going to pass this back on to Stephen because he's much better at this than I am.
Oh, you did fine. Good, now I can go sleep now and you can do them. Haha. So, anyway, as you were saying, so some of the stuff we got a while back for the kids, and especially if it's not needed, and this is the goal to as well. Actually, we started out to do is more of a, everyone's like, it's a hobby farm. No, I hate the word farm. Okay? You know what farmers do for the most part? Produce GMO crap to make crappy meat, or to fuel cars that no one can afford. And I'm sorry, that's all it is. And the fact that Bill Gates himself owns 3/4 of the frickin' farmland in the United States, I'm sorry, with all due respect. You don't have our best interests at heart. Let's just be honest about it. So, do I hate farmers? No. But I'm sorry, I refuse to sit there and have people demand that I support the dairy system when I buy about 2 to 3 gallons of milk a week alone. So, yeah, and I do like meat, okay? I like vegetables, but I'm sorry, I'm a meatitarian too. So, but I'd like to say, I just like to do the whole permaculture kind of self-sufficient thing. And would I do something in the future? Maybe. I don't know. I don't care right now. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. Awesome family, and especially an awesome wife. So anyway, getting back, especially on, and part of the thing with permaculture is to make it self-sufficient. Some of these areas and gardens and herbs, especially are planting, we want to get to the point where we can where it feeds us, basically turning your yard into a food forest. And fully we have an acre of land, and quite a bit of it's probably taken up with the house and driveway. So, and other stuff right now, unused stuff. So again, you don't have to take a lot of space to do it. My thing is I hate people who fucking say you should do this, but give you absolutely no help, or sit there and fuck with you behind, excuse my French, oh, and the good breakfast I had today. But, who refuse to help. So, I mean, so we kind of started this where it's like, I go, and it keeps it in check, because we have to remind ourselves, like, oh, I'm sorry, we are stewards of what God has blessed us. Nothing with less, nothing more. And what you do with your resources, what you do with what has been given to you, makes a difference of what you have and what you don't have. I'm a firm believer of that. And if you don't believe me, I will gladly take you back for a little metaphysical proof of the existence of our Lord by giving you the opportunity to explain why I have a ton of strawberries where scientifically or gardening wise should not be there. Because I love to learn, especially about this. And if you can enlighten me why that's happened, especially it didn't happen anywhere else except over by a cross and prayer area, that would be really cool, because I got to hear this scientific end thing. I mean, I'll even go buy Bill Nye's commie himself a cup of coffee or whatever, Jeffrey Epstein's little buddy likes. Except for that, I got a special caliber of things for them. So anyway, here's a political thing. But anyway, getting back, we've had a few things, a lot of people say, you're lucky. No, it has nothing to do with luck. I don't tell people to brag. I tell people because I go, if you know me, I go, if you say, it's pretty cool. Okay, well, come on out. I'll show you exactly what we did. I'm not going to do the work for you. We aren't. We'll show you exactly what it is, what it costs, what we did, what works, and what didn't. And we'll save you all our mistakes. So, you don't want to do that, hey, the old saying, if a man doesn't work, neither shall he eat. Another wisdom, drink from thine own cistern. Those are some of those things where all the Democrats go, yeah, preach on, brother, that's good, hard work ethic. Until you tell them it comes from the Bible, it's, oh, that's just fantasy. Okay, well, we'll see how that works out. It works for us, so, hey. So, I gotta give God the credit on there. So, don't like it, you can insult me, I'm a big boy, I can take it, I really don't care, but, hey, that's life. You might want to try a little harder with the big guy upstairs, though, because he's a little bit more powerful. So anyway, okay, so let's see, I already ruined this one with politics and religion, or enlightened, depending on your view. So, anyway, yeah, like I said, we're kind of a realist, because, oh, such a nice garden, yeah, well, okay, oh, wow, it's such a nice mess over here. Yeah, it isn't metaphysical, it's human, okay? We had a hard time, and I drove a shaky tractor to get the majority of our yard done yesterday. Well, Jeannie was tending the garden. So, it's getting there, but the nice thing is too, in that is all the old stuff we had to that is actually coming back because we started reclaiming it and fixing and not killing. The bird species one thing we got chickens, and I know she won't admit it because she was kind of missed it, was feeding the birds. So we got an Oriole feeder we're gonna be putting up, and some hummingbird feeders, and these things are about $25 each, and they're on clearance for over half off. And we got some nice little bird feeders here. And yeah, it kind of stinks because the food actually could seep out there, but I think I have an idea for that. Using some aluminum duct tape that's kind of like a tape and metal combination. What do you think, hon? That stuff that I made Steven's little toy sword out. Right there, that aluminum tape. Yeah, it was worth stocking up about 2 dozen rolls for that. So, other things too, it's like, this thing was a garden of, and she probably didn't touch on too much on her garden. I heard her over here talking. This thing was basically nothing more than a non-stop garden of weeds, and the amount just for her weeding, and we just rototilled a little bit boundary, put up some chicken wire just to keep the critters out and that. But this thing, in a couple areas, I'm sure it'll do it again, and it's going to be fantastic when it blooms. And we'll be adding a few more wildflower areas to it as well. The trees looked a lot better. I wish I would have made this video sooner, because we had about 3-4 different colors flowering crab trees in the property. But they even looked a little healthier. This one right here, we pruned most of it. I got a little bit more pruning to do. And right here, we got 2 small Japanese magnolia trees we put in this year. So, we're going to see how we're going to cover this, because I really do not want to lose any of them. So then over here, we got what we started doing. And I know a little long-winded, I was going to say 2 parts, of the heck with it. We got a little bed right here for our lettuce starting up. And some other greens over here in the towers. So I'm going to give it about 2 weeks, and I won't be buying salad for the rest of the year. Or at least till winter. And these other ones over here are the Bountiful Harvest planters, the ones I've been bragging about so bad. And all these, this is going to be my little domain here for the most part. And what we have growing here are the hottest of the hot. We started over here was well, these aren't, but the Infernos aren't, but they had extra plants, so we put some habaneros in here, standard ones. And moving over here, we got the red habaneros in back, and the long, thin cayenne peppers up there. And these are all the small Thai red pepper ones. And as you can see right here, even these do that good with it. You can see these are just full of buds. And yeah, these are going to be a real fun babysitting thing. And over here is the ghost peppers we bought, some of them. And then we got Trinidad scorpion peppers in back. And over here, chocolate Trinidad scorpions. These did fantastic last year. And the Carolina Reapers. So, now one thing too on in this too, this is a little bit extra one I didn't want to buy anymore. But we did get these 4 lavender plants. We're going to put 2 on each side of the prairie to ensure Chippy stays out of the strawberries as much as possible. And right down here, this is something else new we put in this year, and that too again was our new cooking area. The smoker, we have a double burner under here. This will be where the new we keep most of the chicken stuff in that one. There will be another deck box here, and we'll be moving the compost bin up to the top probably or something. And this is where the new coop will go. This has been recycled over or just second year in a row over our prefab coop. And words of wisdom: do not ever buy a prefab if you're just starting chickens. So anyway, what we did right here is we made an 8x8 foot run for those who don't know, and new people start joining us online. And it is encased fully with hardware cloth. Okay, underneath there's a base of pea gravel, and on top, as you can see, there's also hardware cloth on the ceiling and a roof. So I took an old pet crate here and made the door open right here. You can see our little ladies. We're down to 10 of them. We lost 3 of them. Mostly a post-vent gleat, and I think we were given death layers, but it was our first year in that, and but they turned out fine. And we just rigged up a fence for a little outdoor run. I'll tell you what, if you ever want to sit there and get a garden, I'm not shitting you. Get some chickens out, because this thing was decimated from a lush green lawn area into this in about 2 weeks. So what we did up here was we went over the top with some bird netting, and again, Jeannie tied some red ribbon on here, and the most part is because the hawks. Then to have some shade over there as well. Then right down here, and what we did down here, she has her Mother's Day present from me, and this is a little flower garden and her roses. And we got some blocks here for some perennials, and one of my projects I want to get in the next month or so is I want to get this a little bit more down here before the weeds get out of control. And from here, almost all the way around here where our new landscaping went right here, is going to be a small white picket fence. So that's about where we're at. We did have a fun time today yesterday at the rummage sale, the village-wide rummage sale about 6 miles from here. And let's see, that snowblower was $25 at a farm, and all those stakes down there were $10. So anyway, up here again, this is some of the area we're starting to work on right here. And it's not as good as it used to be, but actually, yeah, it is. And we have, for our scrub trees here, we have buckthorn. And this one up here is actually one of the few mulberry trees we have left. So, going down here, this is limited area right here. We decided to transplant some daylilies, and Jeannie did a fantastic job. It really bounced back. So over here is going to be where the picket fence ends, probably about all the way around, if you see over there from the house on back. And yeah, this trailer's seen better days. This is the one we had the pallet on. Shouldn't seem that heavy at the time lifting them. So last year it's had all the soil and that. This is what remains right now of the 8 pallets. And as soon as we're lucky to get this snuff done, somewhere around here is where we're going to put another shed, which is the whole reason for us doing the landscaping to begin with. But yeah, this thing right here, all these bamboo stakes, some really nice heavy ones too. $10 for a whole thing. And this thing was $25, and it sure is cheaper than repairing the other one we have. So we got a third snowblower. So moving over here, let me show you the front quick and that what she's been doing. Oh, she also got 50 canna bulbs for $2.50 from a grower. And Jeannie knows her stuff pretty well on that, so. But she started getting hers to reproduce a little bit more here and growing some to expand her stuff. So that's going pretty good. Then cleaning out as much as possible here. Still gotta get our flag up too, by the way. And I kind of feel bad because she has not had much time to do this, but we thinned this area out, and this is another area that started really getting reclaimed pretty good. But this is her front bed over here. Wow, we gotta take a second. I don't know if you can hear this in the background. It's sitting in the middle doing the video, and there's a country church right down the road, and they're doing their little service playing taps. And yeah, oh well, that's something you do right there. You take time. Video is not more important than the service of our country. So anyway, this is our flower area out there in the back, and we managed to get with as messed up as our old tractor is, and after 2 repairs they still didn't do it right. So I come back a 3rd time, managed to get it started enough to where we could actually do our lawn, and not perfect, but better than it was. So right here, this is all undeveloped yard. We don't want to sit there and take the entire lawn away, because it's like, we need something for the kids and us and everybody. So most likely if we do some, probably about from here would be about the max down to do anything. Just have some stuff coming up over here too in that. So she's got some really nice colors going on over here too. So we don't get, and I really don't get down here much. We're just usually up at the top of the hill for our stuff. So here we are down by the road on the bottom of our property, and again, right there, the end of the little church at the end, they got a cross that glows at night. Nice small one right down here, and across the street we got occasionally get a visit from our neighbors who has a couple hundred Black Angus steers. Noisy and not the most intelligent of animals, but pretty cool anyway. So that's okay. That's the one thing I will stick up for, farms and that too. And I'm not saying the farmers are inherently evil, but you gotta remember, consumers not the fault. It's not the fault of all the troubles. Fight your own battles instead of taking it on us. That's all I'm saying. So with that being said too, at the same time, let's be honest. If you don't like farms, you don't like smells, you don't like seeing animals having sex, well, you shouldn't have moved to the country. Just saying. And right here is the other wooded area we have right in front of our house. Eventually, too, I would like to have this. We are talking whether or not to fence it in either that, or to have a privacy area. What it comes down to, for the most part, in that is to just make sure it's, we want our privacy. We like our privacy. It is what it is. Everybody does. So for right there, a future plan may be do something like that, and at the same time too, looking over and seeing what we can do with this strip. Or maybe even eventually put some planters up and down this side of the driveway too. And this kind of way is what I'm talking about. It's not enough to say, you know, what you do have or what you don't have. It's what you do with what you're given or on loan for. So, I wish everybody a happy Memorial Day, and we'll see you in the next round.